Hello, everyone, and welcome to WordPlay from Blue Imaginarium. This is going to be a fun exploration into all the delicious shapes and sizes and colors and feelings and emotions of words. They're all around, and we're just going to play with them. That's why it's called WordPlay. So it's going to be sharing poetry and stories and lyrics and any other thing that words take shape in. So today we're going to be doing some poems. And one thing that I'm so excited about doing this is, I don't know about you, but as a kid, I loved story time. Loved it. You know, sitting on the ground around whoever was reading with the big picture book, and they show you the pictures and they read the story, or in bed with my parents or whatever. And I still, to this day, as an adult, I love story time. I love to be read to, and I think it's kind of a human thing that we have. So want to use wordplay to share wonderful words and writers and connect with our creative community around the world. So today I'm going to be sharing 4 poems, and some of the poets I know and adore as human beings, and one I really wish I had known when he was living. So we'll share his as well. So we're going to dive in with a poem from Jeannie Bruning. Now, Jeannie is a friend of mine. I met her a couple of years ago at a networking group for creatives. And she is a publisher. She helps indie authors get their words out to the world, which I think is fabulous. And Jeannie's also written a lot of books, and she has just started diving into poetry. And I love that. And I love what she's doing. So I'm thrilled to read this poem by Jeannie. It is called Voices. Voices by Jeannie Bruning. The voices of disapproval echo in my head. Your voice is there, telling me I'm not good enough, that it's my fault, that I'm the one to blame. The sound plays in a loop like a broken record, but there's no one to remove the needle. The voices of shame smother me, preventing me from stepping out. The voices of disappointment stop me from trying. They talk about what should have, could have, but didn't. Though not audible to others, they are deafening to me. I fight them, try to ignore them, put them in a box, and hide them. But they ooze out like warm, sticky glue, clogging up my brain space. I don't know why I listen. I don't know why I care. Yet I wait for someone to pick up the needle and bring it to an end. There's another voice in my head. It's always been there. It's quiet and gentle, easily drowned out. Rarely does it shout. Never does it interrupt. I can only hear it in the quiet. Today, as I sat identifying all the other voices and contemplating my demise, I found a piece of quiet. Today, my other voice gently instructed, pick up the needle and get on with it. Now, I don't know about you, but I think it's a pretty common human condition that we have those voices and those not good enough things and all that stuff. So let's just take that needle out of the track and get on with it. All right. I'm in. You in? I'm in. So, all right. The next poem I'm going to read is by Charlie Puffer. Now, if you ever are on the West Coast, Pismo Beach area, Central California, you must stop in to Puffers of Pismo. Charlie Puffer started this gem of a little wine bar about 5 years ago, and he is passionate about music. So he brings in amazing live music almost every night of the week. And Charlie is a consummate service is like one of his passions, and you can see it in every little inch of his place, from his wine list to his service to remembering who you are, what you like, where you come from, all that. He's just an amazing human being. So he's also a writer, has been a writer his whole life, an English major like I am, and he's diving deeply into his poetry, very prolific, and love what he's doing. And his first poetry book called Naked is available on Amazon. Check it out, or better yet, come to Puffers of Pismo and buy one for yourself. So here is, it's called Pipe Dream by Charlie Puffer. Pipe Dream by Charlie Puffer. I wish I could sing sweetly enough to make the bell ring in your lonely spire, conjuring spirits, beneficent, releasing the debts incurred by desire, the bills of life unceasing. I wish I could paint a portrait full of depth, illumination, confounding encroaching death with the promise of a next life rife with fascination beyond the bounds of our worldly station. I wish I could construct a labyrinth of avenues to guide you to the Mecca, where you do not rue all that you do, choices you make in the establishment of you. I wish I could fly a flag of freedom, not flecked with blood, but dyed in love and passion. Bold ideas that fashion an identity, not marred with the scars of enmity. I wish I could vanish beyond the veil of propriety, extinguish the cold smoke of piety, plant an eternal oak of truth into the spoiled soil of our lying society. I know I can pour you a drink with a knowing wink, a wry smile, a guarantee that all will be all right for a while. A man's got to know his limitations. And when you come to Puffers of Pismo, that's exactly what you're going to find, is that joy of service and helping his fellow human beings walk a little further on this journey. So the next poem is called Blessing by John O'Donohue. And I have a little backstory on how I found this poem. And I don't know about you, but life, that kismet, serendipitous moment when you discover something that really reaches deeply inside of you and speaks to you, and you can't imagine your life without it, and now you found it. So that's how I felt when I found out about John O'Donohue, who was a poet in Ireland. He died way too young, just a few years ago, and he was also a priest, and he's very much a philosopher. So I saw a snippet of his work on a pottery shop's website, of all things. The pottery shop is named Autumn Cray. It's an Irish kind of Gaelic pottery store that does lessons, and I was looking for lessons, and I saw that there, and it kind of changed my life. So I researched John O'Donohue. He's a remarkable poet, very insightful human into the human condition, and I hope you enjoy this one. It's called Blessing by John O'Donohue. And it was written for his mother, for Josie, my mother. On the day when the weight deadens on your shoulders and you stumble, may the clay dance to balance you. When your eyes freeze behind the gray window and the ghost of loss gets into you, may a flock of colors, indigo, red, green, and azure blue, come to awaken in you a meadow of delight. When the canvas frays in the crack of thought and a stain of ocean blackens beneath you, may there come across the waters a path of yellow moonlight to bring you safely home. May the nourishment of the earth be yours. May the clarity of the light be yours. May the fluency of the ocean be yours. May the protection of the ancestors be yours. And so may a slow wind work these words of love around you, an invisible cloak to mind your life. I love this poem. It also reminds me of my mother and the amazingly close bond that we share. And I get the feeling that he and his mother shared the same thing. So, love that. Love that. All right, we're going to end today's wordplay with a poem I wrote called Friends. And I am blessed beyond measure with friends in my life who have walked with me through the very bright days and the very dark days and everything in between. And without them, I don't know. Life would be very different and very sad. So thank you, friends. Love you. All right, friends. Friends. They reach out a hand when you're sliding down the muddy slope to slow your descent into the mire. Then they sit with you on the bank, not caring if the ground is cold and wet, and just listen, even if the words you say are unspoken. They walk with you through storms and dark days, and if they can't pick you up, they lie down with you and look up at the same sky. They see your light within and reflect it back, and shelter the tiny flame so it can grow stronger. They believe in you more than you believe in you, and give lift to the wings of your desires. They honor your truth and don't try to smooth out the sharp edges. They know when to sing and when to be still, when to encourage and when to console. And mostly, they hold your heart when it's breaking and when it's bursting, holding the fullness of you in all the ways you move through the days. So friends in Blue Imaginarium land, hope you've enjoyed this episode of Wordplay. There's going to be many more coming, and like I said, it's going to be an exploration of all the ways that words really just take us to good places and help us explore new worlds, and definitely excited about building this community, and definitely want to encourage you to join us. So if you're a poet or a writer or a lyricist, please join us. Please join us and let me know if there's anything that you want to share, and you might be featured in an upcoming episode of Wordplay. So until next time, think of a good word and live that for tomorrow. All right, bye-bye.